Hey everyone, I wanted to take a few minutes to take you through the studio bed, how it operates, how you can get the best out of it in your workouts. So to start with, I'll just walk you through what each of the elements are and what we call them in workouts so that you know when we say foot bar, you know exactly what we're talking about. So this here is the foot bar. You've got the platform here. The springs are here, and we've got 5 different springs here, different colours, red, blue and yellow. This is called our carriage. The shoulder rests are here, headrest is here, and then you've got your long loop and short loop, so double loops are here. At the end, these are called our pulleys. And then we also have an ankle strap down the end here. We have a box as well that we use, and jump board in terms of how to fit that on your bed we talk about in a different video. So to start off with the foot bar, so that you know how it works, it's got 7 different positions that it can be in terms of height. The best way to adjust the foot bar is to actually come to the back of your bed, pull it out with both hands, and then move it to the position that you're wanting it to be in, or that the instructor has asked you to put it in. From here, you've got your springs. Now, I mentioned there's 3 colours, red, blue and yellow. Red is our heaviest option, blue is the medium option, and yellow is our quarter strength option. They just come off the hook when you're not wanting them. So if an instructor says, I want you on a red and a yellow, you would pop a red and a yellow on and leave the rest of the springs off. When you're not using the bed, it's best practice to leave a spring on for safety. You want to leave maybe a blue on and leave the rest of it off, just so that we keep the longevity in the spring, but that we've got some kind of resistance on so that carriage doesn't fly away for safety. As you can see here, when we have our springs on, the carriage moves in and out. You can sit on it, you can kneel on it, you can lay on it. We do all sorts of things, but this movement is what we use in Reformer to create stability or instability in exercises and movements to challenge you in those movements. Coming in here, we also have stoppers. They're blocks on the studio bed, so you can just push one up onto the railing and then push the other up when you're using stoppers. So typically we would use stoppers when you're someone who's quite tall and you need a little bit of extra room in some of the movements that we do. So for example, footwork, where we're laying on the carriage with our feet in the on the foot bar, you may find that you need to put a stopper or 2 on so that you've got enough room to be in what we call 90-degree position, so neutral position, where your knees are directly above your hips. Other times you might want to take those stoppers off so that you've got full range. We also have a bar here for the spring bar we call it, and there are 3 different positions the spring bar can be on with the Reformer. So there is a closest bar, which is our negative, we call it a negative range, I guess. The middle is neutral, and then the furthest one is making it that little bit more challenging. So when you're on that furthest rung and the springs are attached, they've got further to travel. They're already under tension before you start. It's going to be a lot more challenging than if you were just on the neutral or that first position. The first position, when you would use that, is if you have someone quite petite and you're needing to shorten that range with the springs. Our recommendation though is usually to stick with that neutral position, particularly if you're in a studio environment with lots of people in the class. However, if you find, for example, that you're doing some arm work and you're on a yellow, so the lighter spring, and you've been doing it for a while, it's consistent, and you want to step up to the next spring choice and you pop a blue on and it feels too heavy, what you could do is put the bar on the furthest range, pop the yellow back on, and that's your middle option. So it gives you that stepping stone to then build strength to move up to the blue when you're ready to do so. Coming down here with the headrest, there's a couple of positions with the headrest if you're wanting to adjust it. So it's got a block behind. You can pop it on the first hook or then the top one to bring it up to that next level of height. So that's fully adjustable based on what you're doing in exercises. You then have your straps here. Now these are adjustable with your ropes. So the best way to adjust these is to put your finger under the rope, lift it up. You can pull the strap towards you to lengthen it, or pull the rope back to shorten it. Then when you found the position that you're happy with, you simply make sure it's in between the two toggles, pull back on them to make sure they're nice and tight, popping the strap back on its holders. So generally speaking, the position we would suggest is where you've got the long loop on the pulley, on the holders, and they're reasonably taut, but not so tight that they're pulling the carriage off away from the stopper at the starting position. We then have pulleys at the very back here, and on the studio beds, these are adjustable. So you can turn these and move them up and down based on the exercise and what you're needing. But a general rule would be to be around that 1 or 2 position, just making sure that they're even is the main thing. So that is your rundown of the studio bed. What I would recommend you look at next is our video of how to insert the jump board to the studio, and then onto our intro to Pilates with me, where I take you through some of the fundamentals of some of the exercises we do in our classes. But once you've done that, you're ready to go.